this meeting to order. I have 6:29. Let's take roll call. Justin Doss. Here. Trish Boyette.
Here.
Dan Elliott. Up here. Jimmy Bowen.
Here.
Mr. Griffin and Ms. Mydell are not here. Okay. If we can stand for invocation. I always offer, would somebody like to do invocation? Please do.
I can do that. God, we just thank you for this day. Thank you for your love and your joy and your peace. Pray, God, that you'd help us tonight as we make decisions that would be the benefit of the city of Lincoln and the citizens that we represent. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Has everyone had a chance to look at the agenda? Okay. With that being said, can I get an approval or a motion?
I make a motion to approve the agenda minutes, or agenda, excuse me.
I second that motion.
Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns on the agenda? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It passes. Okay, the previous minutes from July 16th. And because we have somebody that's wanting to stay for 3 hours, we'll read every, no, just joking. So July 16th, we did have all board members present. We had all staff present. Did everybody have a chance to review the previous meeting? Any questions, comments from staff? No? Okay. And if I could get a motion to either approve or reject.
Motion to approve the approval of the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it passes. Okay. Terry, I've signed this. Dan's not here.
You can just pass it back and we'll,
Okay.
and just in case he comes in late, it'll also.
Okay, the item, first new business petition been filed by Neil McKenzie with Coleman Company, Inc. for a zoning map amendment for a parcel located at 624 Blue Jay Road to amend the zoning from R2, which is residential, single-family, and duplex, to R3, residential, multifamily. The parcel is owned by Larry and Sherry Young. R2730001. Do we have somebody in the? Okay, please state your name. And welcome.
Good evening. My name is Mallory Boyd, and I am here on behalf of Coleman Company. We are representing the owner, Larry and Sherry Young. So what you have on the screen in front of you is the proposed property at 624 Blue Jay Road. We're looking to have it rezoned to R3 to accommodate a new townhome development. This project is ideally situated with direct access to Blue Jay Road. It is neighboring a single-family residential area to the west and then the Lincoln Fire Departments to the east. Our primary goal is to provide affordable and efficient housing options to meet Lincoln's growing residential needs. The proposed townhomes offer a low maintenance and effective living solution that aligns with the current market demands. It has fee simple ownership. These townhomes will be fee simple with a property owners association. established to maintain the common areas and keep a well-kept community. Parking and accessibility, the parking will include garages and additional visitor parking. On-street parking will not be necessary, as we plan to provide 112 parking spaces, which is more than adequate to accommodate the residents and its visitors. As far as landscaping and buffers go, we will ensure that a 20-foot perimeter buffer is provided and supplemented as needed to maintain the integrity and privacy of the surrounding areas. And we understand that there are some new compliance regulations for townhomes with the city. We acknowledge those and we fully accept the city's recently passed requirements. As far as the community connectivity goes, I know that that's a large concern for the city as far as having students the ability to walk to bus stops. So we've already made contact with the current property owner, and we're prepared to provide a safe walking space for children to access bus drop-off and pick-up points. What kind of questions do you have?
So each one of those, I count 10 blocks up there. Is each one of those a row of townhomes?
So yes, sir, it's a proposed 50 townhomes.
Okay.
And so it's about 5 per acre, which is much less than the typical multifamily, which is around 30. So we don't want to go anywhere near that much.
So in reviewing, by the way, your packet was fabulous. You
Thanks.
gave a lot of great information. Stormwater check, traffic check, noise check. There's homes around the area. And this is the ideal scenario for what we're looking for in Rankin. We have a big manufacturing facility moving in, and we need homes. And this will afford us what seems to be a good, solution to one of our problems. Now, my question is, and this may be for you, Terry, in reading the packet, this is inside the city limits, but the water is going to be Effingham County
That's correct.
and the sewer as well? Or is it just gonna be, septic or?
I don't know about the sewer, the water for sure.
Okay.
This would be proposed public sewer. This would not be a private sewer system. We can
Okay.
connect in with the county's sewer system.
Okay. And the only thing that the city more or less stands to gain from this is that we are adding additional homes to our community. Are we maintaining the roads?
That would depend if they would want to turn them over to the city.
Okay. Okay. All right. Those are the only questions I have. So, I mean, like I said, you answered all my questions in your packet. It was a very well put together packet. Any questions?
So it's gonna be rental property, or is it, people gonna own the houses or what?
No, sir, the plan is to sell these homes. These would not be rentals.
Or won't be rental?
No, sir.
Okay. So we, as a board, have the three options. We can recommend approval of the application, we can recommend approval with conditions, or we can recommend denial of the application as submitted. Do I have any other questions or comments from anybody in the crowd or the board?
You have any problem with it?
I don't. I went through the criteria that are set out in the code and found that it met the majority of the criteria pretty easily, and the code does not require that they meet all of the criteria.
Good.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Bowman to approve, and that's with no conditions as is.
One quick question. Is, if we do vote for this and change it, can they change their plan and go to a lot more denser without coming back here or going to council?
Well,
Oh,
okay,
we're-
well, I guess, so Yes, they can, because what you're reviewing right now
No,
is
it's just the
is
change
simply a
of the
rezoning.
changes.
Is this parcel appropriate for R3? However, keep in mind that if this goes through and a rezoning is approved, then the next step is the site plan approval process, which would go through staff and come back through the board and council. So let's say that they did propose, come back and decided they could fit a few more on there and decided to do that. So they would still be permitted to do it through the allowable density on the site. But if they, if they didn't meet all of the development requirements, so setbacks, buffers, things like that, height, we wouldn't even bring it forward to y'all. So I guess that's a long answer to say, yes, they could do something different, but it does have to come back through at the site plan process.
And the short answer is, we're just looking at the zoning, changing the zoning at this point.
Yes.
Good, and that was a great answer that you gave for us. So at this point, I have a motion for Mr. Bowen to approve. Second by Ms. Boyette. Again, any other questions, comments? Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you so much.
We appreciate your time. Y'all have a good evening.
Okay, second up on the docket is, application has been filed by Jason Waters with Edge HVAC requesting final site plan approval of a 6,000 square foot, commercial building. The parcel is 1.01 acres located at 0 North Ridge Drive and is zoned B2 General Commercial. The property is owned by Northridge Rankin LLC, parcel number R2570006B00. Do we have somebody? Please step to the podium and state your name and welcome.
Thank you. Heather Wilburn with Maupin Engineering, I did the site design with the owner on this, who's unavailable today because his wife was induced at midnight last night, so.
Well, good.
Yes. Guess what's been through and all the, review questions have been, answered, so just taking the next step if anyone had any further questions.
Okay, so we're looking at 6,000 square 4-unit, and these are gonna be leased out to,
Yes, he will own it. The conversation started, his wife wants a shop, and instead of just doing one single standby, it was just more feasible cost-wise to, add the rental unit. So the plan is he owns the HVAC that's there now, and will own the building, but it started out with, getting a shop for his wife.
any questions from the board? Terry, do you have any input for staff?
No, we worked through all of the concerns. It meets all of our requirements. There were a few iterations, I think, to address, our Director of Public Works, requirements, but we worked through all of those, and it meets all the requirements now.
Good, good.
Just going front on what road?
Northridge. If you're going south on 21 and you have a Chevy dealership, it's the second right going back to Freedom Park.
Right, so Northridge is here, and you've got Capitol
Post
Drive
office.
up
Yeah,
there.
another post office.
Yeah,
Two buildings now.
that's kind of where he's at now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the HVAC is there, and he's putting the 6,000, a separate building on the same lines
Okay.
on his lot.
Looks good to me.
Justin? Okay, okay. Anybody else from? Okay, at this point, if I could give one of the three options, a motion?
I make a motion to approve the application as submitted.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bowen, presented by Ms. Boyette. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Nay? Unanimous, passed. Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
your time.
much.
Have a good evening.
All right. Third up on the docket is application has been filed by Natasha Farley with a Touch of Elegance event venue and Tiny Tots Party Center LLC requesting final site plan approval of a 3,500 square foot event center building. The parcel is 1.17 acres located at 244 Carolina Avenue and is zone B2, general commercial. The property is owned by a Touch of Elegance event venue and Tiny Tots Party Center LLC. Parcel number R2120008G00. Do we have somebody in the stands who would like to?
Yes, sir. Brandon Purcell, with Maverick Engineering on behalf of Ms. Natasha Farley of the Touch of Elegance. Just seeking approval for the final site plan. We went through all the review with, Ms. Terry. And do y'all have any questions or anything about the site?
You have the existing business already, don't you?
I do.
The cooler?
Yes.
Okay, and, this is an event center. What are some examples of some things that you will have in this facility?
Okay. Wedding, birthday, celebration,
Okay,
party, as far as when I say party, children, bouncy houses,
okay,
children's celebration. It's gonna be a multi-purpose building, so if anyone wanna come in, to do, if the police department would like to have a Christmas function, yes, we will be open.
okay.
We do a lot of business with the Chevrolet place, and that's what kind of brought my attention because they rent us out and they go to Pula to have their functions.
Okay.
But yes, we've been in business for.
What's the max capacity in the building?
It was 155, I want to say. It was less than 200 people at this point. And also before purchasing the property, I spoke with, I want to say the city manager. I do have a letter.
I can bring it up.
Okay, I can pull it up. Jonathan, Mr. Jonathan Lynn, and, so before we wanted to make the transaction to purchase the property, I wanted to see if it was allowed and would the residents, allow this in the area. And he gave me an approval letter of that as well.
Definitely gonna need more net rental space in the area. for
Yes.
sure. Yes, for option.
Well, and it is already zone B2, so, any other questions?
Nara, Terry, everyone good with you?
Yes, same thing as we went through through site plan, actually not, we didn't have, go through very many, but yes, it meets all of the requirements, so.
Questions from the public? Okay, if I could get,
Make a motion to approve.
Justin Doss, makes a motion to approve,
Second?
second by Ms. Boyette. All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, nays? Unanimous pass.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Best of luck to you. Okay, docket number 4, an application has been filed by Raja Malu. Hopefully I said that correctly. Nalepula? Hey, is requesting final site plan approval of a 5-unit retail building. The parcel is 1.03 acres located at 608 Town Park LP, Loop, and is zone B2 General Commercial. The property is owned by Usher Real Estate LLC, parcel number R2640010. Would somebody like to come up and speak?
Good evening. My name is Owen Gannon. I'm here on behalf of Raja Malpura and Robert Civil Engineering. We went through a few revisions and satisfied all the comments. Just want to see if you guys had any questions.
What's the square footage of each unit? They're all the same?
Are they equal square footage for each separate client?
Yeah, it's like a 2,000 at the end towers, and in between like it's like a 4,000.
So we've got an 8174 square foot complex with 5 units. Just curious, what types of businesses are we looking at?
Yeah, we have one,
Hey,
Educana,
you-
it's like
if you-
That way we can pick it up on that.
That way the public can see it.
yeah, we have around 2,000 square footage already leased by Edith and for the Just Love Coffee Shop, it's like a restaurant.
Okay.
So other, I have like a couple more inquiries for the, like a boutique shop type thing. So still it's open for the lease out, it's for medical now.
Okay. And this is going behind, and I'm sorry, the name is the New Mexican, Sheriff's?
Yeah.
It's sort of diagonal behind it.
Diagonal.
Okay.
And there is a drive-through, I don't know if y'all noticed on the site plan, there is a drive-through plan for the coffee shop. So the coffee shop will be here, and then we'll come down here for the drive-through, and then the drive-through window is right here,
Yeah.
so.
Carrie, anything, everything was good?
Yes, we worked through all of the requirements, and they meet all of the
Good.
requirements of the code.
Any questions? From the public?
No, we're just here to answer if anybody has any questions about our store.
What's your name gonna be?
Just Love Coffee Cafe.
Oh, good.
There's one in Pooler right now that, but still we're gonna open our own shop.
Okay, fantastic. Any questions from the board?
You said a coffee shop gonna be on this end?
Well, that's, as I'm looking at the south end.
Yes, right here.
No.
So there'll be a drive-through, they'll come around, I mean, obviously there's an inside also, but the drive-through will come around here with a drive-through window right here.
On the one plan here, I see that they got a grease trap on the other end, and I'm just trying to figure out what's gonna be down there.
On the far north end? That was just in case, another food establishment came in, they had the option to go to that north end, so.
I think they're gonna have to have a grease trap for the coffee shop.
I think there is two.
There are two,
Yeah.
one is for coffee shop.
One on the north end, one on the south end.
Yeah, it didn't show on this plan, but that's fine, yeah, I just wanna make sure. All right, I'm ready.
One of the 3 options, if we can get them up.
I'll make a motion.
All right.
And we approve it.
Okay.
I'll second that motion to approve.
Mr. Bowen makes a motion, Mr. Doss seconds it. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Unanimous. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Best of luck in your company.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming in today.
All right, don't adjourn yet. Man, that was a record meeting for 4 items, so. But, right, I mean, these have all been, approved through staff, so. But at your next meeting, you will have, I just wanted to update y'all on the Unified Development Ordinance. So I had planned to have 2 chapters here today, but was unable to have them in the shape that they needed to be to come before the board. So you'll have, it's called the environment chapter right now. It's more likely we're changing that to some sort of maintenance, code enforcement, nuisance, something like that. So you'll have that chapter along with floods at the next meeting. Not very many changes to flood, really just more, just kind of putting, making little changes here and there to, to change the terminology to UDO from growth management plan, things like that. Pretty significant changes related to the code enforcement chapter, just because we're trying to be more specific instead of just having a kind of general catch-all. And then you will also have our subdivision and development process changes coming before. So those will be the other two chapters. So at the next meeting, you'll have 4 UDO chapters. And I don't believe there's still time, I guess, for us to have a site plan come in, but we don't have any pending site plans right now with the approval of, or the moving forward of these 4 tonight. Now, I do have on a list in my board in my office, probably 8 to 10 where people have called us, asked questions, come in, done a little pre-meeting, so we're just waiting for those to be submitted. But for right now, we don't have those. And then the other thing that I wanted to update y'all on is the comprehensive plan. We, at the last council meeting on August 12th, they voted to go ahead and accept it and transmit it to the Department of Community Affairs, which is the next step for it. If anybody would like to come by and get a copy of it, you're welcome to. I can try to email it to you, but it's really big. But if you want that, let me know, and we'll figure out a way to make that happen. But then the next step would be for it to be, after it goes through the DCA review, if there are any changes, we'll go ahead and get those made. And then the next step would be for council at their first meeting in October for them to accept it and basically adopt it as our updated comprehensive plan. So just a couple of big things I wanted y'all to be aware of.
Chair, were we going to look to try to bring in, we were going to have Chief Muriel, Chief Reed come in and do a little presentation. Are we going to put that back on the document anytime?
We can put those back on. I think, so Jonathan had come and Lou had come, was that it?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so yes, we will reach out to other department heads and that, would, that it might be good for y'all to kind of hear what they do and, and how what they do impacts site plans or is impacted by site plans that y'all approve. So we'll reach back out to those department heads and start getting them on agendas.
One that I would be very curious is the water people.
Okay.
I'm hearing rumblings about permits, and I would like a better understanding of how that, so definitely schedule them.
Okay, it'd probably be good to do, we can do Tommy with wastewater treatment, absolutely, Tim with public works, and then it may be beneficial to have maybe Alec from EMC to come in and talk about some of the projects that they're doing throughout the city as well, that they're the lead on. So we'll go ahead and get those set up for y'all.
Yeah, I think we need a better understanding if we're looking to grow, what is our capacity for water, sewer, maintenance, and so I think that would be a good place to look.
Yeah, especially as you start to look at rezonings, the site plans, it's not so key because we're making sure that they have those before they, they're not gonna come to you if they don't have access to sewer and water. But for the rezonings, it is. For every rezoning we get, we check with both Tim and Tommy to make sure, we tell them how many units are proposed, could be there, and so that they can let us know, they can verify that the city can provide water and sewer. And this rezoning was a little bit different because they're not in our service delivery area, but most will be. So yeah, for y'all to have that understanding, I think would go a long way.
And I wanna go on record to say, everybody at City Hall, given our recent situation, y'all are just doing outstanding. And it definitely doesn't go unnoticed. A lot of people in that area are speaking very highly of our City Hall. And I just wanna say thank you so much to everybody.
Thank you.
And once again, thank you for the excellent preparation of the packets. I mean, that really helps us.
And that's why I went fast.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why, that's a big reason.
It really does.
so many questions to.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so thank you for being so thorough, that really is appreciated, so thank you for all your hard work.
And for everybody that's listening, on Facebook, come down to one of the meetings. Okay, any other questions, comments, before we adjourn?
Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Goss.
Second that.
Second by Mr. Bowen, all in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, nays, and 7 PM.
That's a